Hello, good morning, afternoon, and good night.
What?
Because it's people all around the world. Morning, afternoon, evening, and good night.
Why are we so blurry?
Why are we blurry?
Fix it. Fix it. Fix it. Fix it.
I don't know if it's blurry, because this
Fix
is
it.
like 30 seconds behind.
It's 3D. Have you guys ever...
Why is it so freaking blurry?
Let us know when we're not blurry anymore. You'll know. You'll know. La, 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 la. Did you fix it? Can you fix it?
Shh.
Will you fix it?
I'm working on it.
We are a little blurry today. It's because you just need to blink. We're not blurry. You're blurry. Blink your eyes a couple times.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure why it's blurry. I even killed the autofocus.
La, la, da, 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 da.
You did that as soon as I turned the focus off, so it's going to be blurry now.
I'm sorry. It worked. It worked. See, what I did worked.
You sure it wasn't me turning the autofocus
What-
back on?
What I did worked. I fixed it because
You see what I live with.
Happy Friday, everybody. Now that we're not so blurry, I have a surprise to show you. I don't want to disturb her. This is not my dog, by the way. This is my mom's dog.
I didn't even know it was a dog yet.
Oh, this is a chipmunk. Her name is Jojo, and she's so tiny. Hello, Jojo. My mom adopted Jojo around 9 years ago, and she's just a spunky little ball of fluff. This was Chico's girlfriend. For some of you who have been around for a while, Chico was my mom's other Chihuahua, who was frequently over at my house, but he passed away last spring. So Jojo's coming over for a sleepover to hang out with my Chihuahua, and Amy, Itty the Chihuahua, is down there asleep. Otherwise, we'd show her. But this is Jojo, and you might hear her making assorted wheezing and snort noises. I assure you, it's normal. It's just because she has a little snoot. So, do you want to get down, or do you want to stay up here? It doesn't matter. You can sit wherever you want to. Maybe it's better if she stays with us so she doesn't pee.
Yeah, she can stay off of me this time, though, because I went with the jet black shirt.
You can't. You're just trying to maintain it for the live stream, right?
Yeah, yes. As soon as the live stream's over, all bets are off. I
Y'all-
don't care if I'm hairy outside of the house.
Do y'all judge? How many? Oh, come on. How many of you have animal hair on your shirts right now?
Probably all of you.
All of you.
Except for you.
Except for you.
You
the allergy
can't
person?
have animals.
Yeah, right. I'm talking directly to the allergy person. Not you. But everybody else. Definitely you. All right, let's see. Happy Friday. Good morning from Utah. It's good. Let's see. Starla fixed it. Starla's song fixed it. Carmen's got my backs. Carmen knows. Well done, Starla. Lucky Mark has you. You're so lucky. You can make him like smoke start coming out of his ears. Excited for this chat. I have corgi glitter all over my face. So
damn, Happy Mouth just slamming right in with the questions.
Well, let's do it. Today, well, I guess I'll let you guys know what's going on in case you didn't read the email or the title of this video or the description of this video or any of the Facebook posts about this video or any of that stuff. So, a couple weeks ago, we did a Q&A about the 7 factors that contribute to Etsy search. So if you're interested in watching that video, just look back through my old videos and you'll find it. But we ended up having so many SEO related questions that we had to actually cut those questions off because we had to go get lunch. So we'd been on for like an hour. So today I've decided to just do an Etsy SEO themed Q&A 100%. That way we can make sure that we're actually answering all the questions. We don't have anything to talk about other than SEO. So just start answering your questions or start asking your questions and we will start answering them, and we're here for an hour. So
thanks for that, Amber. I needed that.
What?
I appreciate that. Anyway, Happy Mouth asked, when you get an A on E-Rank, does that mean you have the best chance of getting noticed and making a sale?
Nope.
No.
No, grades
And
on...
Happy Mouth is new. They were in our live stream last time around.
Are you new? Are you new to Etsy, or just new to our channel?
I think new to Etsy, but I could be wrong.
Let us know. Okay, so for those of you who don't know already, I also work on the management team at eRank, so I've got a little bit of insider knowledge. I don't get paid on commission or paid for recommending it to you, and I've been using it for far before I actually worked for eRank. Anthony and I have worked on a lot of projects together. We've known each other for a very long time. We've gotten to meet in person, and we hope to be doing so as soon as COVID-19 passes. We're talking about meeting up and maybe recording some videos. But for your grades within eRank, the grading system goes by Etsy's best practices. So basically, there's no human who's looking to assign your grades, which I'm sure you knew already. But because there's no human actually sitting there looking at the factors and giving you a grade, it's just a computer that's pulling things that it sees following Etsy's best practices. So despite the fact that you might have an A grade, it might not necessarily mean that your listing is perfect. And likewise, most of my listings, according to eRank, have a B, C to D grade. And those are my listings, some of my best sellers. And because those best sellers are selling, I don't touch them. It doesn't matter if they have a D grade. I don't even look at them. We've been talking for a long time about getting rid of the grading system altogether. Anthony's done this before, and people have gotten so upset because they say that they feel like they need some type of guide, but it's just not the best way to gauge your success. The things that you should be doing to gauge your success are using things like the change tracker tool. I believe that that's a pro exclusive feature, but that tool will allow you to monitor certain listings in your shop. That way, every time you make a change to your SEO, it'll highlight that change. That way, if you need to go back and change it back to your old like keywords, you can make sure that you go and you can see exactly what they used to be. And it also monitors how those changes affect your views, your favorites, and your sales. So if you make, let's say that you add a new keyword into your listing, it'll highlight that new keyword and it'll take a daily snapshot of that listing so that you can see what happened to that listing every day following the change. So you might see that on day one, you change your listing and it highlights the new keyword in green. And then day two, you see, oh, I got 2 to 3 new views on this listing and a favorite. And then the next day, you see, oh, my quantity dropped by 1, which signifies that you've made a sale. So this is probably your best way to gauge success for your listings, is tracking them and then just watching to see how the views, favorites, and sales kind of change depending on the changes that you've made. That's what I do. That's like the expert way to do it. I wouldn't worry so much about grades. They're okay for like a general guideline, but it's like having a GPS versus a compass. You know, it's with grades being the compass. It's just going to be very subjective. Okay, Gary said, no, my dogs don't shed. What kind of dogs do you have, Gary? I know that we used to, when I was growing up, I had a toy poodle, and we only got him because my stepdad was, he has really bad allergies, and our poodle didn't shed. Let's see, what else we got?
H. Jack, should tags and title match? And then somebody commented a couple minutes later and said, so my understanding is titles and tags have to match, and that the title has to be in your description and the link back to your store in the description. Is that accurate?
No.
Figure we just tag team those questions.
No. Okay, so let me start with the first part. Should titles and tags match? Yes, they need to match, but not like exactly. For example, if you have, okay, so say that your title was blue dragon necklace with silver chain. We'll just say that that's your hypothetical title. Blue dragon necklace with silver chain. When you're putting that into your tag section, you would put blue dragon, and then I would recommend skipping necklace if that's in your attributes. So your attribute section, which is below your where you fill out your title, where you have to put in what type of product it is, the color. In fact, blue could be taken out of that because your attributes count as tags. So you don't need to duplicate what you have in your title into your tags if it's covered in your attributes. So we'll use blue for an example. You fill out your colors and you select blue as your color from the attributes section, and your title is blue dragon necklace with silver chain. And then when you're filling out your tags, you might skip over blue altogether and just say dragon necklace, silver chain. Does that make sense? So words, you don't have to repeat the words that are in your attributes down in your tags. Now, often when I do it, I will duplicate just what the product is. Occasionally, like if I'm doing skeleton key necklace, even if that is up in my title, or even if that is in my attributes as selling a necklace, I will still keep skeleton key necklace together in my tags. That's not going to hurt me, but what it is going to do is take away another possible keyword that I could have fit in my tags. I'm not too worried about that because I want to make sure that Etsy knows that I'm selling a necklace, and I just kind of keep that together. But it doesn't really matter. It's not going to hurt you. But my suggestion is to just try to get as many keywords as you can down into your tags. But everything that's in your title, aside from words like blue dragon necklace with, you don't need to throw with in there, obviously. Yeah. Okay, but the second part of that, so my understanding is that tags have to match titles. They don't have to, but it helps. And the title has to be in your description. Okay, so that is old information. Hopefully you're not getting that from the outdated video on my channel. I've put like outdated really big in the description so that people can watch the new videos, because the theory a few years ago was that if you took your whole listing title and you copied it, and then you grabbed it and you pasted it right at the top of your listing description, it would help boost you for those keywords. And then Etsy came out a few years later and said, this doesn't work, this isn't true. This section is only for Google. Google will identify, keywords in your description, but Etsy does not read descriptions. And the thing is, it's because Etsy and Google's algorithms are so incredibly different, it's almost impossible to rank for both places. And since you're selling on Etsy, obviously Etsy is the place that you want to cater your SEO to. So focus on Etsy. Don't worry too much about keyword stuffing your descriptions. It doesn't matter, and you don't need to copy your title into your description because that has been debunked in recent years. And then the last thing, and a link back to your store in the description. Is that accurate? That's another one where Etsy does not look at descriptions. So if you wanted to link back to your store for the sake of just saying, hey, if you want to see more products, click here, so you can tell, customers that there are more products in your storefront and they can go there. That's fine. If you want to link to a specific product, like you're selling your blue dragon necklace, and then you say, oh, you can also find this necklace in red via this link. That's okay as well, but it isn't going to help your SEO. So I hope that makes sense.
She's just nagging for attention. It's hilarious.
Gary has bijons. They're like little cotton balls, aren't they? They're like little poofy cotton balls.
Not one thing in my shop had an E-rank A rating has sold in my shop. Several Bs have sold, but getting an A seems to me to be a kiss of death.
There might be other factors playing in there.
There's a lot that goes into that. I'm more of a fan of like a checkbox system of things that you have and haven't done than I am of letter grades.
Yeah.
People get caught up in letter grades too much because it's nailed into you from childhood.
It's like, so it's almost like if you or if you go bowling all your life, but you always have the bumpers up, then you never really learn how to bowl. So it's kind of like the same thing. If you only use the letter grades it reminds me of the episode of Rick and Morty with the crystal on his forehead, and he's letting the crystal guide all of his decisions. Only like 6 people in the live audience.
Do as the grade commands.
It doesn't matter. Oh, this might completely screw my shop over, but I'll do exactly as the grades tell me to do.
Okay, Sarah's Kingdoms. We sell pride flag rings. Would you add the colors and tags to your title, or just gay flag fidget ring? I wouldn't use the term gay.
Maybe in your tags, but not in your title. I would say pride flag. I would do, you might want to throw it into one of your title keywords, but I would start it as, well, we don't know that because what are the searches looking like for E-rank?
Yeah, that's true. I guess I'd have to see it. I'm friends with a few gay people, and some of them wouldn't be happy with the term gay being used. They would prefer pride or LGBTQ. Political stuff aside, it just do whatever you can to avoid negative stuff from both sides of the spectrum, obviously now.
Add the colors in tags. You mean add the color? So are they rainbow?
Because if they're rainbow, you should probably just put rainbow.
In your attributes, you have an option just called rainbow. And that will take out the need for you to even need to add rainbow into your tags. I use it for I have crystals that I use that are all the different colors. They're vitro mediums, and they have all the colors. So I always select rainbow for those. So that might be something. Yolanda, didn't you message me yesterday? Pretty sure you did.
Does putting hashtags in the descriptions matter?
No. Hashtags are a social element. So hashtags are beneficial when, if somebody is playing, we'll say that they're playing a video game, okay? We'll say that they're playing a video game and they want to see pictures from other people who are playing that video game, then they will click on that particular hashtag on social media. Let's say it's someone who, for example, I like to look at, let's see, what's the type of product? I like to look at different like crystal photos on Instagram. There are a lot of people who like sell different crystals and Etsy shops that sell crystals, and they take the prettiest photos. So sometimes I see hashtags like Etsy crystal shop or, things like that. And I'll click on them so I can find other sellers who sell those types of crystals so I can follow them on Instagram, because I like seeing that type of content in my feed. I like seeing pretty photos, and it kind of, it gives me different ideas and things to teach. So that's a scenario where you would use hashtags, but I don't see very many people on Etsy clicking on a hashtag, nor do I know if are hashtags active on Etsy. Are they clickable links? I don't think so.
I haven't checked that.
Yeah, a hashtag needs to be clickable. You need to be able to click it, and then it takes you to other things associated with that tag. If it's not clickable, then there's no point, because it's not going to give you any results. Yeah. So, okay. Do you need to use all of the tag spaces available? You don't have to, but it's almost like, every time you add a tag, it's like you're throwing out a new fishing line with a worm on it. And if you're on the bank with 100 fishing lines out in the water, which obviously we don't have 100 tags, but how many tags can we have? 20? Someone let me know. I can't remember offhand. But regardless, if you have the most number of fishing lines out in the water that you're allowed to have, then you are attracting lots of fish. And maybe you have different types of bait on each of those hooks, different keywords on each of those hooks. What you're doing is you're appealing to a lot of different types of fish as well, people who are searching all different things. So though you don't have to, try to get as many in there as you can. And if you can't think of another word to describe your product, start thinking about gift terms, gifts for dad, gifts for grandma, gifts for mom, gifts for graduation, gifts for first dates, gifts for first Christmas. There are some crazy terms out there that you guys can start throwing into your tag section if you're out of space for tags. And another question that I know that we're going to get based on tags is, how do I divide my tags if they're too long? Just divide them wherever it makes the most sense. So for example, skeleton key necklace does not fit as one tag. So I divide that as skeleton key and then necklace.
Yes.
But I don't divide it as skeleton and then key necklace, because I'm not selling a skeleton. Does that make sense? Divide it where it makes sense.
I learned everything I can about SEO, research long tail tags and keywords using eRank and other Etsy shops, but still I'm not getting many views due to SEO.
Well, if that's the case, you have not learned everything that you can about SEO, and there is no way to learn everything that you can about SEO.
And there's really no way to tell if SEO is the only contributing factor to why you're not getting views.
Yeah, so never say that you've learned everything that there is to know about SEO. Even Anthony Wolf, CEO of eRank, does not know everything that there is to know about SEO.
Because it changes.
Right.
The algorithms change. They update things. They make certain things more important than other things. They test things. There's always stuff changing in SEO. Even us, we don't know everything about SEO, but we try our best to be at the forefront of it.
Exactly. That's why I started working for eRank in the first place. Was I want to know if there's something new that isn't like public yet. I want to know what it is so I can prepare for it, so that I can get you guys ready for it before anybody else, announces it. I want to make sure that I have info right from the horse's mouth. But so with that, if you feel like your SEO is perfect, it might not be your SEO that's the problem. It could be something like your photos, something like your pricing, something your description, your branding, just how you are positioning yourself in the market.
Your off-site advertising.
Exactly. So
could be any number of things, really.
And I don't want to like sales pitch Handmade Alpha Academy, but I do want to throw in that's kind of what we do. And because a lot of people ask me about Handmade Alpha Academy and they say, do you teach SEO? Yeah, I do teach SEO, but SEO is in the grand scheme of things, a smaller piece of the puzzle, because what we want to do is drive that traffic to ourselves, because no matter how good your SEO is, you are still on a search page. Even if you have the best SEO in the world, you are on page one, number one. With that being said, even if you are on page one, position one on a search page, you are still on that search page with like 100 other listings, right? You have to compete against every single seller on that page. But through building a funnel, creating an email list, marketing on social media, creating a Facebook group, building a brand presence, building your branding up so that you can actually position yourself as the leader of your industry, you are able to direct traffic to yourself. So maybe there's a day when my SEO is great, my SEO is perfect, but I'm not making any sales today and my water bill's due and I need to make a sale. If I right now were to send out a single email to my email list and say I'm having a 25% off sale, go nuts, I would probably sell out of everything.
Yeah, probably.
I have that control. I have that choice. I can do that.
And that takes time.
And it does. But that might be where you should start focusing if you think that your SEO doesn't have any problems. Now, what I would recommend doing is take your shop link and go into the Handmade Alpha Facebook community, which is free to join. The link is somewhere down below, along with a lot of other goodies and cool stuff. Go take your shop link and say, I've been working on my SEO. Can someone take a look at it and let me know how I'm doing, or if you have any suggestions? You guys are free to do that in the group. That is the like only occasion that we allow you to post your shop link. We ask that you don't advertise, but if you genuinely need critiques or help with something, post your shop link. Go ahead and do that and ask for help from our community. There are so many alphas in there who, they know just as much as I do about SEO. So feel free to go in there and ask.
SEO is kind of like the tires on a car. Like, it's great to have the tires, but without all the other parts of the car, it's not going to move. And
it's like one tire on the car.
No, it's like all the tires on the car. But the thing is, if you're driving around an old rusted Ford Pinto, people still aren't going to look at it, even if your tires are the most expensive you can buy. So just it's a package. Everything that you put into your shop is the package that's going to draw the people in to want to buy.
Let's see.
So I like the checkbox idea too.
For grade system.
So the problem with that is too, it doesn't necessarily solve the problem, because there are some checkboxes some people don't need to check off. Like when we start talking about how like HAA isn't particularly good for like one-of-a-kind sellers and stuff like that. Their shops are different. One-of-a-kind sellers and people that sell antiques and vintage and stuff like that, like their requirements are a little bit different. Their advertising has to be a little bit different. Their descriptions need to be a little bit different. Pretty much their entire shop, other than like how they edit the photos and how they title their stuff, needs to be different.
And the only reason that we say that vintage and one-of-a-kind isn't good for Handmade Alpha Academy isn't because they couldn't benefit. It's because our SEO lesson in particular,
specifically, which is only a small portion of the course.
Yeah, it's only like a section within one module, but if you're going to buy my course, I want you to get 100% of the benefit, and I'm not going to lie and say like, oh, it's still going to be great for you, because I feel really bad if you get in there and you can't create a bestseller. And that's kind of the point of HAA, is to generate bestsellers, so you can have a product that's very successful that sells over and over again, which is what Etsy favors. Etsy wants that.
We want people to still be able to come to us, even if they do one-of-a-kind, handmade, or vintage, and we don't want you to feel burnt if you do something like buy our course, because it is an investment, right? So we don't want people to go into it and see that their product or our product wasn't catered to them and feel cheated and lose people that were still trying to educate. Like, we don't necessarily care about the money, but it costs a lot to keep a website up. That's why we charge for these things. It's a lot of work to put this much effort into teaching you guys.
We gotta eat too.
Yeah. But we, at the same time, we don't want people who are gonna, like, if 10% of the course isn't for you, we'd rather you just wait until we can get material out that's catered to you. Right. And it wouldn't be fair for us to just sell it to you anyway. So we try to be honest and tell you that, like, if you're one of a kind or vintage, it's not for you. If you want to buy, fine. The rest of the course applies to you.
We've had people do that. Yeah, they love it.
The rest of it applies to you. The marketing stuff applies to you.
Funnel building.
Yeah, funnel building. All that stuff applies. SEO is just one part. But at the same time, there's still one part that we don't have a replacement for you.
Exactly. And it's not at our fault. It's because Etsy literally doesn't favor one of a kind.
No, they really don't.
Some sellers sell shed loads, thank you, and they don't use a single long tail tag. How come? So here's the thing. There are a lot of things that play into search ranking on Etsy, and there are a lot of things that contribute to a number of sales that a seller may have. How long has their shop been open? How many sales do they already have?
What does their offsite advertising look like?
Exactly? Do they have a big, huge email list with 100,000 people on it where they do what I said? I send an email and, I have a ton of sales afterwards.
Have they had a viral promotion? Have they put something on Facebook that blew up?
Or did BuzzFeed grab one of their,
exactly.
listings?
Most of Etsy's top 10 sellers are other than supplier sellers, are people that have gone viral for one reason or another, or they've been around for so long that they have a huge stream of people that know about them. So
exactly,
there's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
Don't focus so much on what the biggest sellers are doing, because most of the time these massive mega sellers are doing a lot of external that's contributing to their overall success.
That you're not seeing because you're on Etsy specifically.
Right. And all the things like getting sales, getting good reviews, having positive feedback score, and a positive, what's the other one? Market something score that Etsy assigns you, which you guys don't get to fuzzy. Which you guys don't have. You guys don't get to see that. There's no way to go into your dashboard and see these scores. It's an invisible score that Etsy gives you. But all of these things factor into how you'll rank. So I've got a video on my channel that you guys can watch called "What Affects Etsy Rank" or "Rank on Etsy." I think it's from a few weeks ago. It's a short recorded video. Go back and watch that, and I go over the exact things that contribute to rank, and all of those things together contribute to your search placement, which can ultimately contribute to your number of sales. So it might not necessarily just be good SEO. It's all of these things on top of each other, plus potentially external marketing, a lot of money in ad revenue. They could be doing, insane promoted listings. They could be putting $200 a day into Facebook advertising. You never know. All right, H-Jax.
Can you get in trouble by putting copyrighted keywords in tags? For instance, I have a parody of a line from a song. The song/singer isn't mentioned anywhere right now. Can it go in tags?
No, it cannot. So here's a little example. We had an alpha a few years ago who painted her own. I hope that. I'm not mentioning her name, and I don't think she'd care because she talked about this in the group. She painted her own Christmas ornaments, and she did them. I think she did them in like Harry Potter, like house colors or something. I can't remember the specifics, but anyway.
I think that's what it was.
But anyway, they're just, normal ornament bulbs that she painted, like Harry Potter themed. But she didn't call them Harry Potter. She just used like Potterhead, which is a term that the Harry Potter community came up with. It's not like a copyright term. It's a term that the Harry Potter community came up with, but she still got a copyright strike. You cannot use keywords that are tied to that theme, unfortunately. So you can't use like let's see, unless it's in the public domain. So for example, I'm trying to get like more on the story here. For instance, if
it's a parody from a line of a song, parody falls under, that might be something you need to ask a legal expert on, because as far as I know, parody is fine in any circumstance. Like, otherwise you wouldn't be able to post Facebook posts about songs or anything like that without copyright infringement. There's legal stuff there.
Yeah, but you can post lyrics to songs
and you can parody songs without permission from an artist. So
yeah, but the thing is, what's going to happen regardless is that
Etsy's not going to look at that.
Right, Etsy's not going to care about that. What's going to happen is the copyright holder. So, for example, we'll use Disney since they're the big one that people get the most trouble from. Say that someone is selling like Mickey Mouse ears, like headband, and they don't have anything. Maybe they have like Mickey ears in their tags. So it's not Etsy who's going to take your listing down or who's going to report your listing. That's not Etsy's job. Etsy's job isn't to police all of their thousands and thousands of sellers. Etsy's job is to respond when someone like Disney finds listings like this and reports them, and then Etsy can take them down. So the copyright holder is the one who has to report you.
Yes.
And Disney, for example, has, lawyers that they've paid to just sit on Etsy and look for people like this.
Just on the internet. They sit on Google and they look for stuff.
Exactly. So,
and a lot of companies do that, especially record labels, especially right now. Musicians don't make a lot of money, and they're doing everything they can to make every penny that they can. So just be careful. With something like that, it'd probably be best to just get with a legal expert on that.
Yeah.
But honestly, it would be better just to avoid the trouble. If it's a frequently used thing, it's probably okay. But again, just be warned.
Yeah,
and if it's country or rap, I would just avoid it altogether, because those people are nuts when it comes to striking stuff. So I just wouldn't even touch it.
Yeah, just be careful. We're not legal experts. Be sure to talk to a legal expert if you have further questions. But it's one of those things where, is it worth the risk of your shop? So we'll leave it at that.
As far as my last comment, though, I am a musician, so I have a pretty good idea for how genres of people act. Anyway.
Amber doesn't need to ask questions.
Why are you asking questions?
She knows everything already. She is amazing.
Is it better to sell multiples of a single item in one go? Does Etsy recognize this as multiples or just one sale in terms of ranking?
So
I'm pretty sure it recognizes it as one sale. I think we covered this a few weeks ago.
So when you make a sale, so there's no information on this, but I'm just gonna speak on what I think. When you make a sale, you will get one more like sale in your number of sales at the top of your shop. So for example, we've sold thousands of keys. We have people who will buy like 10 to, how many keys? What's the most number of keys someone's bought at a time? Like 20?
It's in the high 20s. Yeah, some people go kind of nuts. It's usually like one or two of the expensive ones, and then like one of every single one of the cheap ones at a launch that we do.
Right. So
collectors.
But that, if they buy 20 of my keys, that counts as one sale. However, because I've sold these listings individually, we'll say that one of those listings I've sold, 3 other times that day, and then that person buys it in their giant order. That might be enough to boost me to a bestseller for that listing. So your overall sales, each purchase counts as one sale. But I think on an SEO like scale, I think that listings are judged based on their unique sales and their unique number of reviews for that particular product. for SEO purposes. Now that's just speculation, but that's what I would assume is going on because that's how most shopping sites work as well. But when it comes to your number of sales, it's only going to count as one. I really think that listings individually need to be given their scores based on the status of that individual listing, which boosts your overall shop and search. So where'd you go?
I was checking because it says we only have 32 concurrent viewers, and that's like 1/5 of what we normally have. That's really weird. Somebody tell me how many people we have in the...
Yeah, it's just not updating. Let us know how many people are watching live. It should be under this video.
I like to keep track for stats.
Tina.
My shop is doing really well. I'm having physical issues from being bent over in paint to paint my wood signs. Can I sell my shop?
Okay. Oh, this is so...
That's way too far into the legal category for me to be comfortable.
You can't sell your Etsy shop. That's the unfortunate thing about Etsy shops. You can't sell your Etsy.
You can, if you... Okay, not a legal expert.
I have the right
Content warning.
I have the right to interrupt if something you say is incorrect based on what I know.
I know more legal stuff about business than you do.
Okay.
If you incorporate LLC, you can sell your incorporated LLC. However, you're probably going to need to answer the Etsy side of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, technically, you can't sell your Etsy shop, but there's nothing preventing you from selling your email address associated with it. But your tax information is linked to your Etsy shop. So I don't really think there's a way that you're going to be able to swap it to somebody else. You're going to have to correct me on that if I'm wrong. So if you were to sell your Etsy shop, aka selling your email address, it would still be your tax information, and I don't think you can change that.
Yeah.
I don't think you can switch the person's like social security and everything that's linked to the shop.
You can't sell your Etsy shop. It's against the terms of service.
That's what I figured.
You can sell your website if you have like a website.
You can sell your business.
Yeah.
But that's yeah.
Yeah. What I would recommend doing, if your shop is doing really well, do you have the money to hire someone to help you?
Or do you have something for accessibility purposes that would make it where you don't have to bend over to paint your wood signs? Some sort of hanger device, or what are those stands that you use to paint? You could build yourself like an oversized easel that you could set the signs up on. Unless you're talking about like staining, then I mean honestly, like an engine hook that you could just like hook onto the wood and stain with. I mean that would probably be best. I don't know exactly what you do. So that would be my first choice. Find a way to make it, because I live with back pain every day. Find a way to do what you do without causing yourself pain first, and if you can't, then look at other solutions.
Yeah, that's why he's not in the military anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're selling your business, but if you're able to sell your business and someone else is able to reproduce your signs, then it would be just as easy to hire someone who works for you to be able to reproduce your signs. So, yeah, that's one of those things where you're just going to have to decide like what's going to be best for you and the long term, and think about the future, especially if your shop's doing well.
Yeah, especially if it's like your primary income or one of your primary incomes. The amount that you're going to be able to sell an Etsy business for, unless you're making a lot of money, it's not going to sell for a lot of money. Your business would probably only sell for a couple grand at best. So just keep that in mind. Businesses
that sell are businesses that are sustainable. So people don't buy businesses. What they buy is the following and the email list and all of the things that come with the business. They don't just buy a business. They buy the things, the assets attached to that business.
Yeah, it's kind of like I mean, most of the time businesses that sell are public businesses, businesses that have stock, and they're just selling 51% or more of the stock to an individual or organization.
Amber added to her question about, does Etsy recognize as multiples or just as one sale in terms of ranking, and how quickly you sell the listing after listing it. So how quickly you sell the listing after listing it, yes. Because when you list a new product, you get that little boost in search, a temporary boost from Etsy, so they can decide what the feedback score for that listing is going to be. So if you sell it right after listing it, that's going to help you tremendously, because Etsy's going to see how a buyer or a shopper has engaged with that listing. And if that engagement led to a sale, then you're more likely to hold your position higher in search ranking. And the more sales that you get, the more positive feedback that sends to Etsy, and Etsy will continue to, either hold your position high or rank you higher, depending on where your position is in an Etsy search. So yeah, it definitely helps.
Yes. Emily,
Emily.
is there any penalty? Is
Good
there
job.
any penalty to repeat similar keywords in your tags? Does this help Etsy more accurately determine what your product is? Sometimes I can't find enough new keywords that would benefit listings.
So it depends on how similar they are. If it's a difference between necklace and necklaces, Etsy is smart enough to know that those are the same thing, and that's not necessary. If it is something more, we'll say like, okay, mom and mother, those things might be more unique and count as their own tags. And I'm not 100% on that. Etsy might be able to link those together, but they're so different in context that I feel like those would be one of those exceptions where you could do each of them. But things like plurals, those are automatically just kind of Etsy knows. Etsy has a very smart algorithm, and it knows that plurals and things kind of mean the same thing. So I would need more. I would need to know exactly what those words are that you're thinking of using, but try to get a good variety in there. And like I said, make sure that you're thinking about holidays, upcoming holidays, and things like that, that you can, really optimize those tags for. That way you don't just have to find a million ways to describe what your item is, because I understand you run out of things after a while. It happens to the best of us. So, let's see.
Like a renewal rate on its own, but also as you've created the listing, someone orders it because of your social media sharing.
I think that I don't I think that sales count as sales. I think that if you sell a listing, it still helps to boost your overall feedback score for that listing, even if it was promoted through social media. I don't think that it has to be found organically on Etsy in search for it to positively influence your feedback score. That I don't have like an official Etsy statement, so this is just my speculation, but it's still a sale towards your shop. So I would say yes, that it's going to probably positively affect your feedback score.
Rosanna.
Okay.
If I offer 30 colors, stickers, is it best to use the most popular color in my attributes, or should I leave that blank?
Oh, I would leave it. If you're using a lot of colors, you should have a thing that says I offer more than one in your attributes, and then obviously you have your drop down menu that you can add for your varieties. But I think that you have an option to select I have more than one. So I would do that. Don't just pick your most popular color. I would make sure that you're actually.
If you're able to put a drop down menu with all of your colors in it, I would go with that. And I've seen shops like when I just bought recently some grips for my VR handle things, and they put like more details than just the color in the drop down thing. They put like they had the color, and then like the little asterisk with a number to show like in the photos like this is
Which
what
one?
this
Yeah.
is. And they also put like most popular with little stars next to it around. Like there's so many different ways that like if you think that's like your best looking color for whatever reason, then you can put like most popular in with the sticker tag. Another issue I have is who the product is for. I see engagement rings and it's always for her, but I don't know a creative way to say ring for her because I was told for her is too generic.
So don't focus on what people tell you. Focus on the research.
Your customers are going to be wrong more often than they're right.
Right, or if you're talking to, just if someone
business advice wise.
Right. You need to look at numbers. Don't worry about if someone says, "Oh, that's too generic." Well, the numbers might dictate whether or not that's true. So
For her is like one of the most common. I mean, even big businesses use for her.
for her, for women,
There's a business called for her.
for brides, for wife, for girlfriend, for fiance, for So what I would do is use a keyword tool like erank.com. Use the keyword explorer and try to see how many searches for her or ring for her, engagement for her, or you could say engagement ring for in the keyword explorer and see what the most popular result is on just engagement ring for and see. So
I'm sending you an idea I just had for E-Rank stuff.
okay. This is him. This is like out of nowhere. He'll just be like, I have an idea. And then he'll start like sending it in a message to me so we don't forget.
I don't want to forget it because it's a good idea.
So yeah, just type in engagement ring for and let eRank recommend what the most popular searches are. You could even just do ring for and let eRank fill it out for you. That's what I would do, and just see where, which racehorse you're going to bet on. Which one is the winning racehorse?
I also think people only search for gender in rings when it's for men.
No.
When I search for rings, I mean, everybody's different, but I generally don't even put a gender in there.
Yeah, but
you could end up scrolling upon a ring that looks really cool and being like, oh, it says for her. There's no way I'll buy that.
Yeah, but that's your opinion.
Everybody's different.
Numbers dictate that. Just look at the numbers. Use eRank. Look at the numbers. Make sure that you have actual numbers to, back it up, because you might be surprised. A lot of the times I'm very surprised by the actual numbers or the actual number of things that people are searching. So especially if you get on erank.com and go in that 18 plus area, if you want to be surprised
about rings,
you want to be surprised. Now,
caught her off guard on that one.
Now, those are only the most 18th searced item on Etsy.
Those are for after the engagement ring.
Oh God,
Charlie, would you do skeleton key and key necklace?
No, I would do skeleton, key, and then necklace by itself, because key is already used, necklace is already in my attributes. I don't need to double up on the term necklace, so I would do skeleton, key, and then I might throw necklace in there, but usually what I do is I will allow the attributes to take over. I've kind of tested both ways though, and really what I've seen is no difference in between my results doing both. So I wouldn't worry too much about it, but just know that you don't really need to throw in that additional jewelry term if you're selling a piece of jewelry that's already listed in your attributes above. Same with colors. If you're selling a blue pair of earrings and you have blue in your attributes, you don't need to put blue down in your tags because it's already counting as a tag in your attributes. But you might want to put that in your title, because title is going to be kind of its own entity. So think about your title. It's like your newspaper headline, right?
Sally. eRank shows one of my listings consistently gets way more views than others. It doesn't seem like the tag's title is drastically different. Any tips on how to analyze what's making this one stronger?
It's probably just a trend.
It doesn't sell better than everything else and is a similar product.
It doesn't sell better than everything else and is a silver. Okay, so it's getting...
So she has two products. One is selling really well. The product is similar to the other one.
It's getting more views. It's not selling, right?
Oh, okay.
It's getting a lot of views, and then it doesn't sell better than everything else, and it's a similar product. I mean, there's a lot of different factors that could be playing in.
Could have gotten shared somewhere.
Yeah, or it could just have a better placement in search. I recommend, if you're ever wondering, why your keyword is, or why your listing is getting a lot of views, and you don't know where it's coming from, my first suggestion would be to head over to eRank's rank checker tool and start typing the keywords in that you have in your title into the rank checker to see what page you're showing up for those keywords. So for example, if I'm selling, blue dragon necklace with silver chain, I might hop into the rank checker and type in blue dragon and check that term and see what page I show up for. And then I might type in blue dragon necklace and see what page I'm showing up for on that. And then maybe dragon silver chain and see what page I'm showing up for on that, just kind of piecing together the keywords that I'm using to see what page I'm showing up for. And that's usually a pretty good indicator. If you're showing up on page 1 for something, that could be a contributing factor. However, if you're seeing a lot of views and you're not getting any sales, you might want to start analyzing what the issue is with that listing, because you should still be seeing some conversions. Your conversion rate, is something that you need to be mindful of if you're getting a lot of views and no sales. Is there something wonky with your pricing? Is there something that's confusing the buyers that's keeping them from making that purchase? Is there anything wrong with your photos? Is it your shipping times? Is there something with your shipping times that maybe they're not liking very much? And a lot of these things aren't things that you need to fix. It's just things that you should be mindful of. So I would just start really digging in and trying to figure that out. What we got?
I was just scrolling through to see how many we had. How come shops with no keywords, horrible pictures, and simple headings are on the first page?
We kind of talked about this a little bit earlier. It's the same as when, I can't remember who asked it, but someone asked how there are sellers out there who have like one-word tags, head keywords in their tags, who are still getting a lot of sales, and how come shops with no keywords, horrible pictures, and are on the first page. So there are a lot of other factors that contribute to rank other than good SEO. Like I said, there's a video on my channel called what contributes to Etsy rank, or what contributes to rank on Etsy. There's like a picture of me black and white with this orange and green background. So look for that video for all of the factors that contribute. But like I said, they could be making a lot of sales from external marketing that they're doing, because maybe they put $200 into Facebook ads. Maybe they have a massive email list. Maybe BuzzFeed picked up their product and shared them, so that they don't even need to worry about SEO, because all of their traffic is coming externally. And because all of their traffic is coming externally and they're making a bunch of sales, Etsy is recognizing that this is a shop that's bringing in a lot of money. So Etsy wants to promote that shop, because in turn, Etsy is making a lot of money from that shop.
Yes.
Another thing to look at is, when did they start their shop? How long have they been around? Because these early adopters of Etsy who have been around forever are always going to be on top, because they have the most positive feedback and the highest positive feedback score from Etsy, because they have probably the most number of sales, the most number of positive reviews.
And some of them could just have a backlink to their own websites, like they have off-site traffic going to their own website, and when someone goes to buy a product, it takes them to the Etsy listing where they add it and check out. That's a very common thing. It has been since Etsy started. People backlinking their products to their own websites.
And maybe they have great Google SEO.
They could even be hooking. There's ways that you can link. And don't quote me on exactly how to do it, but there's ways that you can quote the checkout system on your website to your Etsy listings. I don't remember how to do it. A lot of people do that, though. They'll go and they'll link to other people's stuff, sell people's products for more money, take the cut off of the top, and then they place the order and ship it. But you can do it to your own stuff.
Yeah, you're not supposed to. I don't think you're supposed to do that. But
it does happen, though, is what I'm saying.
We'll be doing the Alpha Academy soon, and how do we sign up? Yes, Handmade Alpha Academy will be opening on June 14th. For those who don't know already, Handmade Alpha Academy is my online course. It is 9 modules with tons of bonuses, and collectively, I believe that we're up to about 20 hours of course content. On average, it takes most of our students around 60 days to complete the course if they're taking all of the action steps. That will be opening on June 14th through June 23rd, so only a 10-day enrollment window, because we need to make sure that we don't get too many new people. If we do, that kind of makes things hard for us, because we don't have a crazy support staff. It's just kind of us.
Just kind of us.
Just kind of us.
Occasionally.
Yep. So just be mindful that the window is going to be short, but that will be opening June 14th. And if you're interested in getting on the waiting list for that, that does not obligate you to buy. However, it will send you a notification right when the course opens. Plus, we're giving $1,000 discount to those who are on our email list, and that link is down below. You can click on that. There's a really cool page with all of the information that we have about Handmade Alpha Academy to the public right now. And then when our actual enrollment opens up, there will be another page open that will have a lot more details, a lot of cool stuff that you guys can read through before you make that big decision to join our academy of over 500 Handmade Alphas. So people like Amber Marie, who's in the chat, lots of Alpha All-Stars are, who are hanging out with us today, are Handmade Alpha Academy students. Yeah, so just keep an eye out for that because I'll be sending information really soon. And we'll do a whole Q&A about HAA. That way we can make sure that if it's something that you want to do, that it's right for you. But if you end up enrolling and you decide that it's not for you, we have a no questions asked 30-day money back guarantee.
Yep. Shoot me a message. I'll terminate your account, refund your money, and good to go.
We don't do any of that weird,
Nope.
like you got to submit.
I'll usually ask if you want to give any feedback. Now's
If
your chance to give it, but I don't care if you do or don't.
A lot of courses make you like submit homework.
I hate that. Screw that.
To prove that you tried.
I don't. For one, I don't want to look at your stuff. Like, it's your shop. We're providing you the information, and we give you our email addresses for when you need help. But we want you to still have the freedom of being you. This is your business, right? You started this business to work for yourself. So it's all about you.
All right, speed round. We might run a little after.
And for you existing students, we're kind of revamping and updating some stuff right now.
So. Oh yeah, so existing Handmade Alpha Academy students, Module 7 position is going to be updated. I have not announced this to you guys yet. I am currently re-scripting lesson 2, the SEO lesson. If you followed my old formula, you know the one, super secret, it still works. There's nothing wrong with the formula, but the way that I've presented the information to new students coming into the course is going to be too confusing, and they're not going to be able to follow it because eRank has updated so much.
Yes.
So we're completely revamping it. For those of you using the old formula, it still works. In fact, if it's working for you, don't change a thing based on the new content, because if it's working and you go and change it, it's going to jack stuff up. But expect that the videos are from Module 7, Lesson 2. All of those SEO videos are going to be completely different because me and Anthony are actually going to be kind of working together to fix Module 7, and that's going to be consuming my entire life.
But the formula is still the same.
The formula is the same.
For the most part. The way that we explain, or the way that she explains it, is a little different.
The research is different.
And
the formula is the same. The research is different.
eRank has changed, and that's our primary tool. So.
Okay, Kelly.
I am an eRank Pro member, but have not been great with using it. Is there a good place to start? I pivoted during COVID to masks, and although I'm doing well, I feel like my SEO needs some work. If you're selling masks, your SEO, it probably isn't going to help you that much. That is such a hyper-inflated market at the moment.
Yeah, Etsy's kind of giving equal opportunity to masks, and I'm sure that's why you're making sales right now, is because of your masks. I mean, there's a lot of tools that are exclusive to pro members. Some of the places that I recommend starting are tracking. Go into the change tracker and start tracking some of your listings. Go into keyword lists and make sure that you're creating keyword lists and monitoring some of the keywords that you most frequently use in your listings so that you can see if those keyword trends change every month. So around like the second week of each month, eRank updates its data for the previous month. It'll show you what the most popular searches were for the previous month. So right now we have data for April. You can see what was most popular in April on eRank, and then, you know, in a couple weeks we'll get May's data in there. So you just want to go in and make sure that you're looking at how changes that you make to your SEO are affecting your listings. You want to track, you know, some of your listings and see how those changes are affecting your views, your favorites, and your sales so that you can fix them if need be. You want to go and start tracking keywords that you want to keep an eye on and see how those change seasonally. For example, I was looking at slime last night while rewriting some Handmade Alpha Academy SEO stuff, and I noticed that Halloween slime in particular has like no searches right now, right? Because no one's searching for Halloween products. But you can bet that September and October, those searches are going to go up. So that might be a keyword if, like, say you sell slime and you have different seasonal slime, you might want to make a keyword list just of different holiday themed slime keywords so that you can see when those trends start to rise and fall. Other things that are useful with Pro are the trend buzz. You might want to go in there and see what is trending in your category, maybe see what themes are trending. That way you can decide on new products to create in the future or what to add to your product lines, or to see what types of keywords are trending right now so you can stay on top of those. There's a lot of different Pro features that are really useful. And I know it can be overwhelming when you have that many tools. In fact, we're currently working on revamping things a bit to make it a little bit more user-friendly. You'll also notice if you go into the top right corner and go to the beginner's guide of eRank, I created those videos, so feel free to pop in there and watch the beginner's guide videos, and those will describe some of the tools to you as well. Pro members will have a different video than free members. So, okay, butterfly decoration.
Does it make a difference whether the product title is written with commas, hyphens, or all words one after the other?
You want to make it as
readable as possible.
As readable as possible, yeah. So human friendly. Computers are smart. They will figure it out no matter what you have.
5 years ago, I might not have said that.
Yeah,
but now,
yeah,
it's fine.
Computers are smart. What you want to do is appeal to the shoppers, and if the shoppers just see a bunch of jumbled up words, they're not going to like that very much. So, if you want to use commas, that's fine. If you want to use hyphens, that's fine. I use forward slashes. You could write it out as a nice long like run-on sentence. I turned that off. You can write it as a nice long run-on sentence. That's fine. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure that you're getting some good keywords in there. So we'll keep going.
In Happy Mouth, I think we answered that question kind of already. So, what features does eRank Pro have that will create and show me how to create more conversions? I thought eRank Pro was going to be on sale for $4.99.
No, eRank Pro is not going on sale. What we're currently working on, though, is a basic plan. So you'll get limited use of some Pro exclusive features. It'll be some of the same features that you get with Pro, but the quotas will be a little bit less. So if you don't need to like search, maybe if you're doing like keyword research and you don't need to use the keywords tool like 100 times a day, then that might be a plan for you. We're hoping that that's done next week. We came into a couple little tech errors this week, so it wasn't able to release, but it should be coming out next week. And like I said, we kind of discussed what those pro features were with the previous questions. So
is HAA one-on-one training or group training more videos? So it's neither. It's self-training. It's a multitude of videos that she created. You don't probably have the folder here with the HAA training. It's like I'm not worried about it. It's like a Bible thick folder with Bible print worth of information that she recorded into videos and sectioned into modules front to back that you can follow while setting your shop up or starting for the first time, or that you can go through and revamp your shop as you go through the modules.
Yeah.
We also have a bunch of extras, whole bunch of extra crap. Plus, you get access to us pretty much anytime you need us, sending personal emails, and you get access to our private Facebook group.
Yes, Handmade Alpha Academy is 100% virtual. It's work at your own pace. All you have to do is log in, and you can do it anytime. You can start at any time. Like if you want to enroll in June, but you can't start until fall, that's fine as well. I do give opportunities to hang out live with me in private discussions and things. Those are usually by demand. So if a lot of people ask for it, we will do private coaching calls with the group, but we don't do one-on-one because with over 500 students, I would have no life. I would have none. So this was a way, basically Handmade Alpha Academy was a way for me to help as many people as possible when I started having people ask me, do you offer private coaching? Because there's no way that I could have helped everybody.
Yeah, and the Friday Q&As were kind of our answer to non-student questions.
Exactly.
We get through about an hour's worth of stuff each week and hope that we answer enough questions.
And the videos aren't like these. The videos aren't...
No.
This is casual. This is us chatting. This is us hanging out. What I've created is almost like if you were to take an online school and watch videos that say, do this, do this, do this, do this.
It's that.
That's what HAA is. It's not just me, hanging out like this. All right.
All right, we'll go for like 7 more minutes. We'll
Got
go
it.
till 10 after. Hello, I've just discovered that when I was adding new listings per day, the visits were increasing, and when I stopped adding new listings, visits were stabled or decreased. Is it about SEO or not?
Yeah, so the reason is when you add a new listing, you get a boost in search placement. Every new listing gets a small boost in search placement, and this is because Etsy wants to gauge how shoppers are going to react or engage with that listing. So Etsy wants to give it a little boost, see how potential shoppers or potential buyers engage with it, whether they click it, whether they favorite it, whether they buy it. And after a few days or a few weeks, Etsy decides what its permanent placement's going to be. So because you've gotten that little boost from adding new listings, you're going to see some new views, and then Etsy's going to kind of stabilize and decide where your listing should be in the marketplace. But what you don't want to do is go in there and constantly renew your listings manually and pay that 20 cents every day, which is like the old way that people used to do it. They'd go in and they'd select all of their listings and they'd click renew every single day for that 20 cents per listing, and they'd pay all that money every day just so they could get a boost in search, which used to work. But now what that...
To a point, it used to work. I always thought it was stupid because
Well,
it didn't really work.
Yeah, well, now what it does is it tells Etsy that, like, hey, this listing's renewing every single day and nobody's buying it. This product must really suck. Let's throw it all the way back on, like, page 10 or something.
Well, the reason that was silly to begin with was that it boosted it like in the rankings, but it didn't necessarily mean you were going to be making more money or that they were going to sell more. It was just pushing you more to the front. But putting your listings on page 1 isn't the only thing that makes them sell. They need to look good. They have to be something that people want to buy. They have to be trendy. They have to. I don't know.
Charlie
Gets me going. Can you use expressions such as Tiffany expired, or will you get into trouble? Thanks.
No, you can't use inspired with a copyright term. You can't say Harry Potter inspired. You can't say Tiffany inspired. You can't say Game of Thrones inspired. You can't say Disney inspired. Saying inspired is not the safe word. I know that a lot of people think that. It doesn't matter. Lawyers don't care. They're going to shut your shop down. So
that kind of goes along with the next two things. So you can't put Star Wars in your hidden tags.
No.
And then Sally, it can be covered under fair usage if it's a parody. Okay, so here's the thing. Yes, fair use is a thing. The first lawsuit was actually just one, was it last year or the year before with H3? Over YouTube stuff with fair usage. Star Wars is owned by Disney. Good luck telling anyone that you want to go up with a lawsuit against Disney.
Yeah.
I agree. It's a kind of a pride thing with fair use. Technically, anything parody is fair use. But if you piss off an organization enough, they'll get you for something else. So just be careful with what you do. If it's parody in good taste, you're probably okay. Just be careful.
Yeah.
Don't overdo it. Don't theme your whole shop around one parody or anything like that.
I think you should just avoid it altogether. Search bots don't understand the fine line of parody. You'll still get taken.
Exactly. That's like with YouTube. It's not a person going through and watching videos and finding stuff. What it is it's an algorithm that searches through the videos as they're uploading, as they're rendering, whatever. And it looks for certain things. It looks for certain sounds that are associated with certain songs. It looks for lyrics to songs. It looks for images. It cross-references with Google because it is a Google platform. And then it reports it back to YouTube. YouTube will automatically demonetize any video with that content. And sometimes it'll send a notification to the person that owns the copyright. And then once that happens, the person can choose whether or not they want to strike it. And then, once it's been stricken, you can submit it for a manual review to YouTube. But it's an automated process up to that point.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't be hard-pressed to say that Etsy probably has a similar system. Probably nowhere near as unique. But it probably is looking for things like that to strike down. So.
Right, and Deborah said something similar. I have a listing, a quote magnet from Mary Poppins. We said
Harry Poppins.
Harry Poppins. Mary Poppins quote is in the drop down. Am I in danger with that? Once again, it's one of those things where Mary Poppins is probably protected by Disney, and Disney has better lawyers than you do. So.
Just be careful.
Yeah.
I'm when it comes to fair use, I'm all about fair use. I'm all about freedom of speech, and I'm all about your rights. So if you're willing to take a risk, take the risk. That's fine, but just be warned that even if it is something that you're doing legally, it doesn't mean the studio isn't going to come after you, and it doesn't mean that Etsy's going to be on your side, even if what you're doing is the legal thing.
And it doesn't mean,
even though I'm against that.
And it doesn't mean that you can come and say, Starla told me it was okay.
No, I'm telling you that you live life the way you want to live life. And if you want to take risks, take risks. Just understand that most of the time, the risk you're taking, the people on the other side aren't on your side.
What will you do if you sell something custom and it comes back to you with insufficient address and you can't get a hold of the buyer?
Oh my
They're
God.
a guest on Etsy, so I'm not sure that they're getting my messages.
I hate that.
Refund them. That's what I do. Refund their order. It's happened to me quite a few times. I hold on. I have like a drawer in my office with all of the orders that have just come back to me where I haven't been able to get a hold of the person. I refund their order and then I hold on to it for a little while. You don't have to do that, but I hold it just in case they message me and say that they still want it. Because a lot of the
Hey,
times,
I went to jail for 6 months. I'm back. I want my things.
Yeah,
You
if
never know.
if it's customized, it's like, what can I do with it, you know? So it's up to you. If you don't want to risk like them being super mad,
It could have
you
been.
can
It could have
refund them.
been somebody that got sick. It could have been somebody that went to jail. It could have been somebody that got deployed in the military on short notice. You never know. So just hold it if you want to, but definitely shoot them their money back.
Gary said I bought it at Etsy shop and Etsy shut it down. Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that. You can change your bank account info and other things. I know. Get an adjustable desk that you can raise and lower the height you need. I just bought one and it's dope. We need an administrator so we can hire someone to list.
Yeah. I mean, you can, as long as you have them listed in your shop, like peeps, people helping partner. Peeps, people of your business. What are hidden tags?
Last question because it's 1:10 now.
Okay. Well,
there's still a lot to go through. We're not going to go through all those questions.
What are hidden tags? Isn't really those are just tags, your normal tags. Let's see.
That's just a comment.
Let's see.
What is the best way to list multiple items that are very closely the same?
What?
Gary Grant, right there at the top.
Gary!
What is the best way to list multiple items that are very close to the same? I make vinyl decals and have several that are very similar.
It depends. You can either add them with variations into your variation, into listing variations and have them all under one listing. But what's probably going to be more beneficial to you is listing them all separately, because once again, that's even more fishing lines with more worms on more hooks that you're casting out into the vast sea of Etsy. And that gives you a lot more potential to be found in search, especially if you're able to change up those keywords a little bit. So my recommendation would be to list them separately if possible, but then have your shop categories or your shop sections on the left side. Make sure that those really reflect like the different types of products that you sell. That way, if someone goes into your shop and they're looking for something specific, they can go into your shop sections and find what they're looking for quickly. Otherwise, they're probably not going to want to list, sit and look through 100 different listings, just if you have a lot of listings in your shop. So that would be my recommendation. That way you can optimize your shop a little bit better, get a little more SEO brownie points for having lots of listings, having lots of opportunities for people to find you. And yeah,
That's pretty much it. We'll get to, if we had a question that we didn't get to, save it. We'll be on here next week, I believe. I don't think there's any reason we wouldn't have a Friday stream. Stuff happens though.
Let's see.
And of course she's gonna keep doing questions anyway, even though it's time to leave.
No, I'm just like scrolling through.
Yeah, that's why I said there's a crap load still left in here, and we're over time.
Someone asked if I'm going to plan on using that new video feature for. Yeah, we'll go ahead and shout that out. Etsy's going to be adding.
Oh, yeah.
Etsy has a little.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, they've got a. Go to Pam Duthie's. Just in YouTube, go to Pam Duthie. She's awesome. She is also part of the eRank team. And watch her video on listing videos, because Etsy has like a test group of. There's only like. I think that there's like 2,000 people in it now, maybe more. And they're going to allow you to put videos in your listings. And right now, only people in the test group have access to listing videos. So you'll only be able to see videos in the listings of people who are also utilizing the feature. But basically, Etsy they haven't guaranteed that everyone will get this. It's just in test phase. But if you want to test it out, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to apply for anything. Just click to join the test group. It'll automatically be applied to your shop, so you can add videos into the second photo slot of your listings. Will be a little video. You can go through that little group and kind of see other people who are using it. I'm not going to cover it just yet because I haven't had a chance to use it. I'm not like a lot of Etsy YouTubers want to be the first to announce, when there's something new. I'm the person who likes to stand back a little bit and wait and see how things play out.
Because here's the thing about beta features. their beta features.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, they suck right away.
Yeah.
It takes some time to get them developed. Lou Richardson said he's in the test group.
Yeah.
That's cool, but features aren't ready.
Is Lou Richardson a boy or girl? Let us know, Lou.
It's usually better to talk about features once they're flushed out enough to be public, unless they release them to the public before they're flushed out, and then we can all give it crap because that's fun, right?
Yeah. So that be sure to go check out Pam's video if you want to learn more about listing videos. Do you guys, maybe we'll do another SEO Q&A next week since we missed girl, but no offense taken.
It's a unisex name.
You messed up.
You said it, not me.
You said he.
You said, is Lou a boy or a girl?
You said he.
Oh,
sorry, Lou.
God.
We love you. Jojo loves you. Jojo loves everybody. All right, guys.
Give this video a like for Jojo.
Likes for Jojo. Like the video for Jojo.
Yep. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you check down below. Hit that subscribe button. Click the little bell icon next to it to make sure you get notified every time we go live or upload a video. Hit that like button if you like the video. Hit the like button if you didn't like the video. And yeah, all applicable links down below. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you thought. Save your comments if you have questions that you asked that we didn't get to this week. Save them. We'll be on next week.
And Handmade Alpha Academy is opening on June 14th. Waiting list link is down below. If you're interested in just reading the details about what it even is in the first place, feel free to click that link because that'll take you to a little page where you can read more about it.
And there are bonuses that come along on being on our email list. And if you end up hating being on the email list, you can unsubscribe at any time.
We love you.
We love you.
We love you.
Bean of the week.
Bean of the week. Thank you, Amber Marie. Bean of the Week. We are doing Handmade Alpha Academy edition of Bean of the Week for the next few weeks until HAA is open. So this is Bean of the Week from the Handmade Alpha Facebook, or the Handmade Alpha Academy Facebook group. Bean of the Week is Sophie from Bee Touch Creations. So be sure to go visit Sophie. She's one of our Handmade Alpha Academy students, and her link is down below. Congrats to Sophie. All right, guys. Stop forgetting. I know, I'm the worst. It's Amber's responsibility to be here every single week and remind us to do Bean of the Week.
It's like, do you know how much crap we have to remember?
They don't know.
Even just my spiel at the end of it is like a minute long of just rambling crap. Ooh, that's a stretch right there.
All right. Say goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Have a good weekend. Maybe.
Goodbye.